Hello everyone. This story is about, what if Naruto and Hinata started living together after she was kicked out of the Hyuga clan? Please like, share and subscribe. Now let's start. Marino Ibiki enjoyed the public anonymity walking around in broad daylight provided. The civilians of the village gave him a comfortable berth, but not out of fear. They respected his status as a veteran shinobi. Ibiki knew that some rumors of his profession made the rounds, but for the most part the civilians only knew he was steadfastly loyal to Konoha. The nods of respect and greeting were a welcome change from the reactions he usually got in his line of work. Ibiki even smiled at the though. As he entered a utilitarian apartment complex, his smile took on an edge. He was visiting a fellow jonin after speaking with the Hokage. Ibiki stopped in front of the apartment and knocked twice. The next sound the head of the torture and interrogation department heard was the unlocking of a few deadbolts. As professional as Ibiki's associate was, there were likely several security seals worked into the windows and doors as well. The door finally opened and Hitaki Kakashi stood in the doorway. Well, this is a surprise. Come on in, I'm sure Hokage-sama sent you here for a reason. Ibiki entered. Thank you. Kakashi's apartment was the typical ANBU apartment. It was almost completely bare. This wasn't a surprise as most of the people who fully submerged themselves in the shinobi world used their apartments only to sleep and physically recover once out of the hospital. The most defining feature of Kakashi's apartment was a well-stocked library of Ika books. How did Hokage-sama take us failing our teams? Kakashi asked as the two jonin took a seat. Hokage-sama was disappointed. He had high hopes for both us and the potential teams. We were not censured in any way. I do believe that both he and the council want to retry the Uchiha and Hyuga experiment at a later date. Kakashi groaned. I'll be saddled with that, I assume. I can tell from your tone that you probably won't be nominated for another go as a jonin sensei. Not for a while. Jiraiya-sama has requested my assistance in establishing a stronger intelligence network in Degarashi Port, Ibiki explained. Degarashi Port is the largest port in the world in terms of both size and amount of cargo moved. I can understand needing a strong Humant presence there, but why you? Kakashi was running through all the facts about the world's greatest port. He also remembered one of his first missions after Ren to deny the port's use to Kirigakure in one of the many shadow wars that followed the Third Great Shinobi War. My brother, Ibiki revealed. Kakashi quirked his one visible eyebrow questioningly. Ibiki continued. We've discovered that he has been taken in by the Wasabi family. Idate hasn't become a house shinobi, so Hokage-sama won't be making any changes to Idate's bingo book entry. The Kopinin was silent for a moment. Idate is the Wasabi's runner in the Todoroki Shrine race. That's our in with the family. You'll be offering the carrot of Konoha support for the family. I'm sure we've sweetened the pot for Idate as well. He'll be dropped from an B rank to a D rank missing nin if he accepts, Ibiki revealed. The capture on-site directives will also be rescinded. So, Idate will get a chance at a quiet life and we get a solid support base in Degarashi Port, Kakashi reasoned. Solid? We'll have started the process of a formal alliance with the ruling family of the city, Ibiki smirked dangerously. As long as Idate can run, that is. Kakashi nodded. He was always a world-class runner. That being said, it shouldn't take that long to establish that Humant network. I'll also be part of the team going after Aoi if we can get any information out of Idate. Kakashi narrowed his eyes. That'll mean a hit inside Amigakure. The last thing we need is to piss off Hanzo of the Salamander. Konoha cannot allow the scroll and sword of the Nidaime Hokage to remain in the hands of a foreign nation. It is a grave insult to our honor. True, but you haven't explained why you won't be a jonin instructor next term and why you are here. Kakashi crossed his arms. Isn't it obvious? My secondary mission will put me into direct conflict with Amigakure and Hanzo is not the forgiving type. I will have to remain within the village for some time, Ibiki replied. Kakashi accepted the point, even as he realized he was being roped into another genin team next term. There's a graduate you want looked after. Her name is Higane Tenten. She's a shinobi I will be keeping my eye on. The second she hits Chunin, I'm requesting her for the intelligence division, Ibiki declared. You think she'll be able to handle being stuck with the Hyuga and the Uchiha? Kakashi asked with a chuckle. I'm more curious about if they can handle her, Ibiki bragged. Naruto and Hinata had just taken their ninja registration form photos and were heading to the training ground to meet with Guy and Lee for training. They were curious as to what Guy would have them do on their first day. I bet Lee had his picture taken first thing and is already training, Naruto wagered. It would not surprise me, Naruto-kun, Hinata agreed with a smile. She admired her teammates' work ethic. We better step up our game or Lee will leave us in the dust. He's going to be an awesome ninja, Naruto said with complete respect. Naruto and Hinata reached the training ground. Lee and Guy were stretching. Guy looked up. Welcome Naruto and Hinata. Are you ready for your first official day? Hinata nodded. We are very excited for this opportunity. Oh yeah, this is what we've been dreaming of our entire lives, Naruto agreed. Excellent. Excellent. Guy exclaimed. Today will be a light workout. I mainly want to learn about your skills, level of physical fitness, chakra control, and the like. So, Guy-sensei, how are we going to get started? Naruto asked. The Jonin smiled broadly and flashed a thumbs up. First, we will start with physical endurance. There is a dojo on the outskirts of Training Ground 12. It is a building I purchased specifically for training any genin teams I have and will ever have. I will head there now. In 7 minutes, I want you all to run to the dojo as fast as you can. Guy put an alarm clock down and set the timer. He then disappeared using the body flicker technique. Hinata and Naruto immediately began to stretch. It wouldn't be enough, but they were hoping Guy-sensei wouldn't hold it against them. The timer went off and Team 9 dashed off towards the dojo. The dojo is over 3 miles away. Naruto scoffed, but kept running. He knew he was in good shape and that Hinata was as well. Naruto cast a glance to his right and saw Lee running at a solid pace. Team 9 passed through Training Ground 6 and saw that Team 2 had passed their test. Hinata was really breathing hard as she tried to maintain the punishing pace she had set for herself. She wanted to push herself to her limits. Hinata had decided on a new mindset after she had permanently moved in with Naruto. She would always push herself to improve. Hinata wanted to improve as a shinobi and a person. This was a small step, but a step nonetheless. The ground became rocky and uneven as they neared the dojo. Team 9 was forced to slow down just a bit. Lee managed to pull ahead and broke out into a sprint as the dojo came into view. Naruto and Hinata did not want to lose face with Guy-sensei and also broke out into a sprint. The two younger genin practically collapsed as they entered the dojo. Guy clicked his stopwatch. Excellent, your 5K times are very good. Naruto, you had a time of 19 hours 56 minutes and 34 seconds, and Hinata, your time was 19 hours 58 minutes and 13 seconds. This speaks well of your endurance. Our training will help improve your physical conditioning to new heights. Before we truly being, I want all of you to take a cool-down walk. Walk around the dojo for about 6 minutes and be sure to practice regular breathing. Go ahead and get started so we may begin the true training. I haven't run that fast for that long ever, Naruto forced out between breaths. We'll get better, Naruto-kun, Hinata assured Naruto. The cool-down passed quickly as they caught up to Lee. Team 9 approached Guy-sensei and bowed. Might Guy returned the bow and instructed his team to stretch as he explained his plan. Today, we will start with a light spar so that I may critique your taijutsu and other abilities. I want to learn your skills, weaknesses, and potential before we start on missions, Guy explained. To ensure fairness, I will ask that you all draw straws. That will determine order. Team 9 drew straws. The order would be Hinata first followed by Lee and Naruto. Excellent. Lee, while I work with Hinata, please show Naruto around the dojo. Lee bowed deeply. I will be honored, Guy-sensei. As the boys began their tour, Guy turned his attention back to Hinata. Now, I want to critique your taijutsu. Obviously, I do not know the workings of Gentle Fist, so I cannot help you with the advanced techniques. I do know a great deal about taijutsu. Our goals will be to refine your gentle fist. In the future, you may be the founder of an entirely new taijutsu style. Hinata's face lit up at the thought. An entirely new taijutsu style? Shall we begin, Gai-sensei? Might Guy slipped into a Goken stance and grinned broadly. Whenever you are ready. Hinata ran through the familiar hand seals and reveled in the complete change of perception that signaled the activation of her bloodline limit. She slipped into a basic gentle fist stance and charged Guy head-on. Guy avoided the first flurry of attacks. He had deftly sidestepped Hinata's assault and took in her stance. It was solid for someone her age. The openings were small enough that most of the opposition Hinata would face could not effectively exploit. Hinata's motions were also controlled and efficient. The Hyuga considered this a failure? There had to be something more, Guy thought. He decided to take a swing at Hinata and launched into a very lazy combo. Hinata easily avoided the first by twisting out of the way. She transitioned the spin into a block of Guy's second punch. The spin continued and allowed her to avoid the final punch and launch a counterattack. The attack was a simple roundhouse kick, but it would have been a very solid attack against most opponents. That was instinctive and natural. Impressive, Guy observed. The sensei and the student sparred for a few more minutes. I believe I have enough for an assessment. That's enough, Hinata, Guy said warmly. Hinata eased out of her stance and bowed. The genin was in awe of her sensei. He wasn't even winded while Hinata was having trouble fighting the urge to flop down and just sit. I have a few questions. Why yes, sensei? Hinata asked, between breaths. Do you know any ninjutsu beyond the Academy 3? Also, have you any genjutsu knowledge beyond the basics of breaking a genjutsu's hold over you? Before my banishment. Hinata had to pause. She had recovered greatly from her emotional trauma, but the subject of her banishment from the Hyuga was still a raw and delicate subject for a young woman. Ko-senpai had begun to teach me the basics of the Hakusho. Thank you for the information, Guy said with a bow. I will have a training regime prepared by the time we meet tomorrow. If you would be so kind as to retrieve Naruto and Lee for me. Hinata returned the bow. She didn't have to activate her Byakugan to find Naruto and Lee. All Hinata had to do was follow the sound of the two boys' voices. Lee and Naruto were wildly discussing how to incorporate seals into the team's arsenal of awesomeness, as Naruto so eloquently put it. Hinata walked around the row of training dummies and noticed that Naruto had rearranged several of them. Look at it this way, Lee, Naruto said with a grin. These poor schmucks, from Kirigakure or wherever, round the corner. The first guy hits the pressure-triggered seals. Of course, they don't go right off with the first guy. There will be a few seconds of delay, but only for part of the reason you're thinking of. Obviously, the delay will allow more enemy shinobi to enter the blast radius. However, shinobi cells always put enough distance between each other so that explosions or area of effect jutsus aren't as likely to take out the entire cell. However, the shinobi will remain close enough to communicate and cover each other. Lee crossed his arms as he explained. That was the basics of team positioning that was drilled into every academy student. And for a chakra pulse to travel along the network to activate the other explosive tags. I got the idea from reading about explosive tags in my book. Naruto grinned broadly. Naruto-kun, doesn't your book only cover the basics? Hinata asked as she approached her teammates. Well, yeah, Hinata-chan, but this idea just came to me. I haven't worked out the details, but I can get this. Naruto exclaimed as he whirled around to face Hinata. We have faith in your natural talents, Naruto-san. Lee assured his friends. Definitely, Hinata agreed eagerly. Oh, Naruto-kun, Gai-sensei wants to see you. You'll be sparring, so Gai-sensei can test your abilities. Lee nodded. Yes, Gai-sensei will want to discover the best way to help you reach your potential. Naruto beamed at his friend's support. Thanks, you too. Hinata returned Naruto's happy smile. The young man rushed off towards Guy. Naruto found his sensei stretching as he waited. Ah, Naruto. What did you think of the dojo? Guy asked with a smile. Naruto returned the smile. It's awesome. I just don't get why your training dummies are so heavy. The dummies are so heavy because I had them custom made. My fighting style goes through training dummies very quickly, Might Guy explained. I can provide more details later. Right now, Naruto, I need to see your abilities. Hinata-chan gave me a warning, Guy-sensei. Naruto said as he slipped into his taijutsu stance. Guy entered his Goken stance. Naruto wasted no time and attacked. His form was solid, but it wasn't exceptional, like Hinata's and Lee's taijutsu. Guy was impressed though. Naruto would be very good after training more with the team. Might Guy also knew that Naruto's true strengths were ninjutsu and fuinjutsu. Naruto would be groomed to be the long-range support for the team. Guy blocked a spinning strike from Naruto, only to have the young boy drop to the ground. As Naruto fell, he executed a spinning kick. Guy was impressed. Naruto had no set style and was winging it. Guy had an idea of how to train Naruto in taijutsu. This will be fun, Guy admitted to himself. That is enough, Naruto. Your primary role will be supporting Lee and Hinata with your fuinjutsu and eventually ninjutsu. Earlier, I heard you talk about your jutsu repertoire. My what? Naruto asked while standing in a lazy stance. Guy-sensei hadn't told him to stand normally, so he adopted a half-normal, half-stance, stance. Collection, Guy said with a smile that the light of the dojo practically pinged off of. You know the Academy 3 and blew yourself up attempting another jutsu. Yeah, I think I messed up the chakra mix or hand seals in it, Naruto admitted. Which jutsu were you attempting? Guy asked in a thoughtful pose. He was standing perfectly straight with his right elbow resting on his left wrist as he held his chin between his index finger and thumb. Katan, Enden, Guy-sensei, Naruto answered while wondering how Guy-sensei had entered that pose without him noticing. A C-rank technique. I am confident I can guide you towards the proper use of the technique. Guy flashed a thumbs up at Naruto. Thanks, Guy-sensei. Naruto said excitedly. Let's return to our teammates. I will speak with all of you for a few moments. Guy responded with excitement that rivaled Naruto's. Naruto followed Guy into the dojo's central hall. Lee and Hinata quickly joined them. Guy smiled at his students. Naruto and Hinata, I will spar with Lee for a moment. I want you two to start exercising your core. Naruto and Hinata gave Guy a questioning look as he practically got on the ground. He made a triangle with his body as the long end, his left arm as the short leg, and the ground as the other leg. This is one of a few exercises I'll be showing you. Might Guy put his right hand behind his head and then brought his right arm down towards his left. I want you to do at least 50 of these before Lee and I finish our spar. Is this going to be our normal workout, Guy-sensei? Hinata asked. Guy still hadn't gotten up from his exercise position. Do not worry, Hinata. We will soon begin our proper training. Not every day will be this relaxing. Hinata and Naruto exchanged a quick glance. If this was what Guy-sensei considered relaxing, what would a hard workout be like? Iruka bowed as the Hokage dismissed him from the office. The on-hold teacher was eager to see the two people who mattered to him the most. First, he wanted to see Ayame. Iruka had thought about her constantly during the mission. He had actually thought about Ayame more than Naruto. Iruka had considered Naruto to be his little brother and, occasionally, even his son. Iruka would never stop worrying about Naruto, but the teacher knew he had to have faith in Naruto. Besides, Might Guy is very reliable and will help bring out all of Naruto's potential, Iruka assured himself. Naruto and Hinata are in good hands. The Chunin flicked his eyes towards the bank. He had a little to deposit for himself after the clients had given him a bonus. Iruka had desperately tried to dissuade the newlyweds, but the two had been so impressed by how the highwayman had surrendered at the mere sight of Iruka's flak jacket. The groom had paid Iruka on the spot. It had thoroughly embarrassed the teacher. Iruka smiled as he approached the bank. It was good to be home. Suddenly, his heart caught in his throat. Ayame-chan. The aspiring chef looked up in surprise before running up to Iruka. You're already back. Iruka and Ayame quickly embraced. I told you that it was a short C rank. There was only one highwayman and he surrendered the second he saw my flak jacket. I'm so glad you're back, I whispered as they ended the embrace. Were you headed to the bank too? The clients gave me a bonus. I actually want to talk about that with you. How soon do you need to be back to the stand? Erica questioned. Father gave me the day off, I admitted. I was working on my admission to Marasai. That's actually what I wanted to talk about, Erica confessed. We can talk about it over lunch if you haven't eaten. I nodded. I'd like that. The couple went to a nearby cafe. I immediately asked about Erica's mission. Erica revealed that the C rank was completed so quickly because the clients had a wagon. The highwayman, as Erica had previously mentioned, had fled like a flushed game bird the second he had seen Erica's flak jacket. He ran screaming something about "don't eat my soul." I think the poor man was scared of Genjutsu. Erica leaned back in his chair and smiled. I can't blame him, I breathed. Genjutsu can be horrifying. Genjutsu is the least understood of all the shinobi arts, Erica said as he naturally slipped back into his well-rehearsed lecture on Genjutsu. I giggled. You really want to get back into the classroom, don't you? I love teaching as much as you love cooking, Erica said with a contented smile. How is your savings for Marasai shaping up? At the rate I'm saving, it'll take years, I lamented. I need around 22,000 just to pay the tuition and another 5,000 for room and board. Erica listened intently. Then the 38,000 I made from my C rank will cover it. What? I wasn't sure she heard Erica correctly. The shinobi smiled. I am using my C rank to pay the remainder of your tuition. But you might need that money. Why would you spend so much on me? I stammered. I will be going on a B rank soon. As for why I'd do this, well, Erica suddenly felt his throat go dry. Well, because I love you. Iam's eyes went wide and she sat silently for a moment. See, could you say that again? I'm using my pay from the C rank to pay for your tuition, Erica restated. No, you idiot, the important part, Iam said, only partially, in jest. I love you, Erica said firmly. Iam reached across the table and kissed Erica. In public. Today had become a very good day. Naruto had sprawled out on the couch the second he had gotten back to the apartment with Hinata. Hinata had gone straight to the shower and Naruto was more than happy to let her. The young man was exhausted and the thought of moving was currently abhorrent. Gai-sensei had really worked them to the bone. Team 9's Jonin sensei had tested their endurance, chakra control, and even their ability to read maps. There was a very unwelcome knock at the door. Normally, Naruto would be thrilled to have a visitor. Naruto was way too tired to be thrilled at the moment. Hello? Naruto, it's Erica, Erica said through the door. Well, that changes things, Naruto thought as he pried himself off the couch. I'm coming, Erica-sensei. Naruto opened the door with a huge grin. Hey, Erica-sensei. What's up? Erica chuckled and rubbed the back of his head. I wanted to check on you guys. How was Gai-sensei's training? Want to come in? I'll tell you all about it, Naruto said. Erica nodded and entered the apartment. Naruto quickly headed to the bedroom. He stopped with a hand on the doorknob. Hey, Hinata-chan, I'm going to shut the door. Erica-sensei is here. Alright, Naruto-kun. I'll be out in a minute. Hinata answered. Naruto turned back to Erica. Gai-sensei is going to be awesome. He works us real hard, but that'll make us so strong. Erica smiled approvingly. He is one of the most respected jonin in the village. That's so cool. I can't wait to see how badass Hinata-chan and Lee will be in taijutsu soon. They'll be able to take down anybody. Gai-sensei said he'll help me with ninjutsu too. Naruto rambled for a minute about seals, ninjutsu, and Hinata gut punching a missing nin. Erica laughed and ruffled the young man's hair. You are doing very well. I'm proud of you and Hinata. Thanks, Erica-sensei. how's the academy? Naruto asked. I don't know. Hokage-sama has me doing missions again. I've been nominated for Jonin, but I haven't taken actual missions in a while. I just got back from a C-rank mission. Iruka sat down in the chair Naruto gestured at. Oh man, you have to tell us all about. Don't say anything until Hinata-chan gets here. Naruto said excitedly. Where is Hinata? Iruka asked. Naruto stalled and his eyes flicked back to the bedroom. In the shower? Iruka finished. A blush appeared on Naruto's cheeks. Yeah, that. Iruka didn't press Naruto on that point. Would you like something to drink? I'm fine, thank you. Iruka shook his head. The door opened to the bedroom opened and Hinata joined Naruto and Iruka at the table. Iruka spent a few minutes quizzing the pair on how they liked their cell assignment. Nay, Iruka-sensei, Naruto cut off another question about Guy's training. Now that Hinata-chan is back, can you tell us about your mission? I'd be happy to. Iruka leaned forward towards two of his favorite students. As I told Naruto earlier, I'm not teaching at the moment. Hokage-sama, Tomatsu-senpai, and the headmaster of the academy have nominated me for Tokubetsu Jonin. Congratulations Iruka-sensei, Hinata said politely. Thank you, Iruka responded. In order to be promoted officially, I have to go on a few missions. My last mission was a C-rank mission. C-ranks are generally escorting civilians, hunting for animals, searching for missing people. Did you fight any enemy ninja? Naruto asked expectantly. No. Iruka shook his head. C-ranks generally deal with predatory animals, bandits, or highwaymen. I encountered only a single highwayman. He ran away the second he saw my flak jacket. I am glad your presence protected the clients, Hinata said politely. Naruto, you're going to have to wait a while before your first C-rank. I'm sure Guy-sensei will want to get a better feel for your abilities and have your team carry out a few D-ranks. Ah, man, Naruto whined. But Naruto-kun, D-ranks will be a chance for us to save up some money with little risk to ourselves. Hinata put a calming hand on Naruto's shoulder. Hinata's right, Naruto, Iruka said quietly. I think I'll take my leave. You two look like you could fall asleep standing up. Hinata giggled. We are very tired. Good night, Iruka-sensei. After Iruka left, the two genin went to sleep. Naruto was asleep the second he got into his bedroll. He was pretty sure Hinata fell asleep the second she crawled in the bed. They woke up on time for the next morning and jogged to Might Guy's dojo. Naruto and Hinata were proud that they had arrived a full 15 minutes before the scheduled time. Naruto's jaw dropped as Hinata pushed open the dojo's door. Lee was already doing a jump rope exercise. He looks like he's been here an hour. It's only 7:30 in the morning. Hinata and Naruto jumped a bit as Guy put his hand on their shoulders. Don't worry, my precious students. Lee has only been here 20 minutes. I am very impressed by your own punctuality. We're eager to get started, Guy-sensei, Hinata responded diplomatically. Excellent. I am pleased that you jogged from your home. I want you to take a while to stretch a bit before we get started. Guy instructed. He left Naruto and Hinata to their own devices and went over to Lee. Lee. It is time to work on your blocking and dodging. Follow me. Guy motioned excitedly and led Lee to a section of the dojo. Guy and Lee stopped in front of three strange devices arranged in a vague triangle. The devices had arms of various lengths, and Hinata noticed gears at the bottom. Lee got in the middle of the triangle and Guy pulled a lever. The three pillars started spinning and Lee began blocking, jumping over, or dodging the arms. That's actually really cool, Naruto admitted. Ingenious, Hinata agreed. Guy approached Naruto and Hinata with a grin on his face. I am glad you approve. You will be ready for that level soon. Today, however, I have specific exercises prepared for each of you. First, Hinata. Follow me. Guy said excitedly. Hinata rose to her feet and bowed. Naruto followed suit. What about me, Gai-sensei? Naruto asked. Eager to train. Excellent, Naruto. While I walk Hinata through her exercise, I want you to practice the leaf concentration exercise. You have proven you can use the single leaf. This time, I want you to extend your arms. Naruto gave Guy a confused look for a moment before doing as instructed. Guy held a leaf at the tips of both of Naruto's middle fingers. Do you want me to hold the leaves using my chakra? Of course, Naruto. Guy said proudly. As Naruto held the leaves in place, Guy placed one on his forehead. Remember, the goal of this exercise is not to simply hold the leaves in place, but to spin them. Naruto was focusing intently on his exercise, and thus he did not speak. Instead, he nodded sharply and redoubled his focus. Hinata felt a small smile grace her lips as she watched Naruto's determined efforts. She quickly turned to follow Guy to her exercise. The station was a raised circular track. Once again, Hinata noticed that it was motorized. Guy-sensei, may I ask a question about your equipment? Of course, Hinata. A shinobi must train more than just the body. Hinata smiled at Guy's encouragement to speak her mind. Where do you get all this equipment? It all seems very complex. Guy extended his arm and gave a very enthusiastic thumbs up. I built it all myself. It is a great way to train the mental energies that produce chakra while helping to prepare the way to train the physical energies as well. I had no idea Guy-sensei was so multi-talented, Hinata thought. Amazing, Guy-sensei. What kind of training will I be doing at this station? I did some reading last night. As you are no doubt aware, the Hyuga jealously guard the secrets of Juken. I cannot help you with true Juken, but I can help you adapt the principles of Juken to other similar styles. In Fu Ronghui's writings on the world's great taijutsu styles, it is theorized that Juken and Pakwa share a common origin, Guy explained. Hinata was amazed at her sensei's knowledge. Furthermore, the thought of creating a new style was enticing. I am ready to being, Guy-sensei. You will start with circle walking. Pakwa is a highly mobile style. Juken is designed to utterly devastate an individual opponent. Pakwa is more suited to multiple opponents. Circle walking was originally designed to help a practitioner's situational awareness. You possess the Byakugan and already have fantastic awareness. For you, circle walking will be a way to minimize the chances of you being surrounded. Hinata blinked at the detailed explanation. Can you provide a scroll on this taijutsu style? Absolutely. Before we begin, I want you to copy my stance. The stance for circle walking is different from your standard Juken stance. Guy slipped into stance that at first seemed awkward to Hinata. The foot placement was too horizontal and narrow. Though, it makes sense. It is designed for circular movement. Juken is designed for unsteady advance, Hinata thought to herself. After several minutes and multiple corrections, Guy told Hinata she was ready to begin circle walking. She climbed onto the station and entered her new stance. Hinata immediately noticed the track was far more narrow than she initially realized. Guy left Hinata to her exercise and went back to where Naruto was practicing with the leaf concentration exercise. Guy-sensei. My arms are tired. Excellent work on the exercise. You may stop now. Tell me, how many times did your leaves fall? Naruto gratefully followed Guy-sensei's orders. Well, the ones on my fingers dropped 3 times. It mostly because I was holding them out straight for so long. Very good. Take a moment to stretch. I will go over your role in Team 9, Guy commented. Naruto was thrilled to hear the details of how he would be part of the team. You have a very important role, Naruto. Lee and Hinata are both taijutsu specialists. Your role will be to support and protect their advances with ninjutsu and fuinjutsu. I will not neglect your taijutsu, but our primary focus will be on making you a splendid ninjutsu specialist. That's awesome. I bet you'll be able to help me with my fuinjutsu, too. Naruto exclaimed. Guy shook his head. Somewhat. Fuinjutsu is a rare art and you are truly blessed to have such an instinctive grasp of the art. However, You cannot neglect your practice and training in that, or any other, ninja art. Yes, Gai-sensei. Naruto acknowledged his teacher with a face-splitting grin. There was no way Naruto would stop practicing Fuinjutsu. 1. It was too much fun. 2. Learning about seals was crucial to a goal Naruto held as dear to his heart as becoming Hokage. Now, let us collect your teammates. Guy ordered warmly and excitedly. Naruto nodded and followed Guy to each station. Lee emerged from Guy's strange blocking machine with a huge grin on his face. Naruto admitted to himself that the contraption actually looked kind of fun. How was your workout, Lee? Naruto asked. It was exhilarating. I am currently on the lowest setting, but I am eager to improve, Lee replied. We've all got to start somewhere, Naruto said in support. He turned his attention to Gai-sensei for a momentarily. Hey, Gai-sensei, will I use that thing you had Lee training with? You will make use of the mechanized dummy very soon. Guy assured Naruto. Naruto smiled at the thought. Guy's training dummy looked like a very cool way to work on his taijutsu. Hinata was practicing walking in circles. Hinata, you may finish your current lap. After that, please join us, Guy said excitedly. Hinata finished her exercise and quickly joined her team. Team 9 stood at attention and Guy's smile was almost blinding. So far you have all done excellent work. Our next exercise is about working in the field. We won't be doing a mission just yet, but this will prepare you for when we begin them. Naruto and Hinata were disappointed that Guy wasn't going to start them on missions, but they didn't want to press their sensei too soon. Guy led the genin out of the dojo to one of Konoha's many training grounds. Strangely, Gai-sensei took Team 9 to the very edge of the training ground instead of the center as Lee, Hinata, and Naruto expected. I am sure you all are wondering why we are here, and how I will train you in working in the field, Guy said the second he stopped walking. Hinata was the first to nod. You must cross training ground 26 without being detected by Team Yanai. If you succeed, tomorrow I will introduce you to advanced shinobi techniques. On the other hand, if you fail, I will punish you all. Punish? Lee asked his sensei and role model. Guy nodded. I will intensify your training to ensure that you overcome your shortcomings. Intensify? Naruto and Hinata thought at the same time. For some reason, that word was absolutely terrifying. See, can you give us any more information, Gai-sensei? Naruto asked with a forced chuckle. On missions, you will not always have complete information. This is an exercise in caution and your abilities to move and think like true shinobi, Guy responded. Team 9 exchanged a few glances before slipping across into training ground 26. Naruto had decided to take point. He turned to his teammates and nodded. Hinata had been around Naruto long enough to know what he was about to ask. She quickly and wordlessly her Byakugan. They are Chunin, Hinata mouthed. Naruto and Lee exchanged a troubled look. You have more bad news, don't you? Naruto mouthed silently back. They are looking for us, Hinata responded. We need to get going, Lee communicated using Konoha sign language. Naruto and Hinata nodded in agreement. They moved quickly as they could without sacrificing stealth. Hinata kept her teammates appraised of the Chunin searching for them. Naruto called Hinata and Lee over to his position. He informed them via hand signs that he was going to set off a timed distraction. Naruto found himself wishing for a simple genjutsu. Maybe Gai-sensei can teach us one. I don't know if I have the control for it, but Hinata-chan probably does, Naruto thought quickly. He set up his trap seals and armed them with smoke bombs. Team 9 made it a little ways away before a member of Team Yanai arrived to investigate Team 9's passing. Lee, Hinata, and Naruto were using academy concealment techniques. The Chunin saw and managed to avoid Naruto's obvious trap, but it had been a ruse. The Kunoichi used a bit of chakra to quickly disable the simple snare trap. The chakra was just enough to trigger the smoke bombs. That is our cue, Lee thought as the team made their move. Team 9 moved very quickly from their locations. The smoke gave them a bit of cover and freedom to move at a rapid pace. Hinata's eyes suddenly went wide. It was an instinctive and unconscious reaction to what she had seen. We're being boxed in, Hinata told Lee and Naruto using hand signals. I shouldn't be surprised. These guys are Chunin. We're out of our league right now. Speed is crucial right now, Naruto thought quickly. We have move, Naruto said out loud. Time was of the essence. Lee nodded emphatically and Hinata gave a single nod in agreement. Team 9 began to move very quickly to avoid being surrounded and discovered by the Chunin. Hinata-chan, how close are we to the edge of the training ground? Naruto signed to Hinata. He knew that with her Byakugan that she could see his hand signals even though he was in front of the team. Hinata moved quickly to catch up to Naruto and Lee followed closely behind. Training ground 24 is about 200 meters to our east. Naruto smiled. Good, let's keep going. Lee agreed with a salute and took point. The genin picked up the pace. Naruto noticed Lee and Hinata tense out of the corners of his eyes. Something was up, but he couldn't place it. Naruto turned to Lee, but his teammate simply faded away. Genjutsu, Naruto spat the word like a curse. He pulled his chakra to dispel the genjutsu. His first attempt was sloopy, but Naruto pumped enough chakra into the attempt to succeed. Naruto's perception unraveled and was restored to a more natural state. He frowned at the first thing he truly saw. Hinata was sitting around the ground pouting with one of the Chunin behind her. Naruto, despite his disappointment, was impressed and almost enamored by the mix of determination, disappointment, and drive dancing across her face. Naruto flashed an apologetic smile at Hinata. He was well aware that Hinata had probably tried to warn him and Lee about the genjutsu, but the boys had already fallen prey to the illusion. Naruto turned his attention to Lee, who was wearing his disappointment on his green spandex sleeves. Don't feel too bad, kids, one of the Chunin said with a soft smile. That was a multi-layered genjutsu. Even with the young lady defeating the first layer almost instantly, you all couldn't have broken free fast enough. You're not the ones who will have to have their training intensified by Gai-sensei, Naruto grumbled. The Kunoichi stepped forward authoritatively. Like Rokuro said, you guys don't need to worry too much. You all did pretty good for a bunch of fresh-faced genin. We'll put a good word in for you with Gai-senpai. Thank you, Lee replied. Rokuro laughed. Something Kohei and I were wondering. What is it? Hinata asked politely. Which one of you guys set up the sealed trap? That was hilarious. I think it's been months since we saw Tomomi get so annoyed. Kohei jumped in. Tomomi huffed and looked away. Naruto chuckled and raised his hand. That would be me. Little punk, Tomomi grumbled under her breath. Team Yanai escorted Team 9 to where Guy was waiting. True to their word, Team Yanai gave the genin a fair report and praised their teamwork. Guy thanked the Chunin for their assistance and filled out a form stating that they had completed their D-rank mission. What the heck was that, Gai-sensei? Naruto asked in shock. I must agree with Naruto-kun's curiosity, if not his tone, Gai-sensei, Lee agreed. Guy's face didn't reveal anything. I wanted to give you a practical test. Team Yanai is one of Konoha's best genjutsu teams. Rokuro is a member of the Kurama clan and Kohei and Tomoe are members of the newly established Yanai clan. They are personal acquaintances of mine and I knew they would test which aspects of the flames of youth you all need to stoke. I am pleased by your skills, but there is a great deal of work that needs to be done. Gai-sensei, Hinata spoke up as soon as her teacher finished. Will you be focusing on our defense against genjutsu? I will train you in recognizing genjutsu, but I cannot teach you advanced defenses against the subtle art. Guy crossed his arms as he answered. Let us return to the dojo. I have much to introduce to you all today. Yash. I look forward to discovering new training methods, Gai-sensei. Lee exclaimed. Naruto grinned and nodded excitedly in prospect of learning new jutsu overrode Naruto's earlier annoyance almost instantly. Guy led his charges back to his dojo for additional training. Guy spent a full hour having Team 9 recognizing simple genjutsu. Hinata could quickly recognize the presence of genjutsu thanks to her Byakugan. She had asked Guy about techniques that could disrupt genjutsu on a large scale. Unfortunately, Guy only knew of a few vague theories. After the Genjutsu practice, Might Guy shifted his focus to Taijutsu. Now, I will introduce you to a core aspect of how I will train you all, Guy announced. Please follow me. Team 9 followed their teacher to another section of the dojo. I am introducing you all to training weights. Training weights? Lee asked. Guy nodded. Yes, these are not technically weights. In truth, they are based on seals to simulate weight. Naruto's eyes lit up like Guy had given him a Chunin vest for his birthday. Naruto struggled to contain his excitement and continued to listen to Guy-sensei. I want you to start out on the level that I set for you, Guy instructed. Lee and Hinata graciously agreed. Naruto agreed as well, but Guy gave him a pointed look. Naruto, I know you are a budding Fuinjutsu expert. You can study these seals, but you are expressly forbidden from altering them in any way. Naruto deflated a bit at Guy's command. I understand, Guy-sensei. Before I give you the weights, I want to go over the other rules regarding their use. Team 9 perked up as Guy continued to instruct them. Traditional training weights, and the weight seals, are a very useful tool, but they can cause very severe damage if they are overused. So, in order to prevent injuries, you are to only wear them for 8 hours a day. As you continue to progress as shinobi, I may allow you to wear them for longer periods of time. I am eager to begin this new type of training, Guy-sensei. Lee's excitement and anticipation were bubbling over. Good. I will give you the weights now. Guy shared his students' excitement. Lee stepped forward and Guy walked Lee through how to activate and use the weight seals. Naruto jumped at the chance to get the seals next. Guy shared the same explanation, but Naruto found it really difficult to follow along with Guy-sensei's words. He was too interested in studying the seal network on the weights. Besides, Hinata-chan will listen closely. Naruto reminded himself as he inspected the chakra conduits on the weights. Hinata, for her part, was thinking about Genjutsu. Her chakra reserves weren't large enough for her to focus on ninjutsu, but her control was excellent. Genjutsu could be a great tool in her arsenal. She thought back to her encounter with Yakumo. Yakumo's clan, the Kurama, renowned for their mastery of Genjutsu. Maybe I can get Yakumo to help us. Hinata thought at first, but she doubted Team 9 would have much opportunity to meet with Yakumo, given Guy's intense training. Hinata, please come here. I will walk you through the weights now, Guy said patiently. Hinata obliged and paid close attention to Guy's instructions. She put on the weights and nearly lost her balance. Now, we shall go to the final stage of today's training. I want you to take some time to move around and get a bit used to your new weights. Hinata, Lee, and Naruto spent the next few minutes simply getting used to the new weight. It was a challenge at first, but they quickly learned to at least move somewhat normally. After a few moments, Guy-sensei called them back to his location. The next activity was focus mitt training. Guy worked with Lee because Guy was more familiar with Lee's fighting style. Hinata and Naruto worked together because of their own familiarity with each other. Naruto. I know you are not used to the weights, but you must continue to execute your kicks sharply. You cannot slack off. Restart the exercise. I know it is hard, but if you are to be Hokage one day, you can never settle for good enough. Guy admonished Naruto as he began to let his technique suffer. Naruto nodded forlornly as he started over. The young man had never worked this hard in his life. You can do it, Naruto-kun, Hinata tiredly cheered on her best friend. She was probably as physically exhausted as Naruto, but she continued to support him. Hinata admired the fact that Naruto's second effort was even better than his first. Naruto would never give up. Hinata desperately wanted to be able to emulate that. Guy ordered the partners to switch positions. Naruto was quick to encourage Hinata to keep pushing through her exhaustion and aching muscles even as he struggled to hold the focus mitts up. Hinata fed off Naruto's encouragement and finished the exercise, with Guy only calling her to keep the effort up once. Excellent work, my students. Guy said happily. We are finished for the day. Naruto managed to smile once at Hinata before theatrically collapsing to the ground in a heap of exhaustion and overacting. Hinata giggled at the antics. Lee smiled broadly at Naruto's attempt at humor. Guy shook his head at the sight. He was glad there was youthful camaraderie amongst his charges. I will give you all the day off from official training tomorrow on 2 conditions. The first is that you wear your weights for at least 3 hours and no longer than 6. Second, you cannot do any strenuous activities. Your bodies need time to recuperate. Am I clear, my students? Yes, Gai-sensei. I will follow your instructions. Lee shouted and bowed deeply. Clear. Naruto said from his position on the ground as he flashed a thumbs up. Thank you, Gai-sensei, Hinata said politely. Gai grinned at his team. Excellent. You are all dismissed, after you take off your weights and perform a series of cool-down stretches. Hinata, admirably in her mind, managed not to sigh at Gai-sensei's last-second proclamation. She helped Naruto to his feet and took off her weights. Lee was far more reluctant to stop training, but did as Gai-sensei ordered. The 3 students performed their cool-down exercises and received Gai's permission to leave. I'm tired, Naruto said flatly. I'm so tired that I'm not even wanting ramen. Hinata stumbled a bit due to her own exhaustion. I want nothing more than to just get to our house. Something about Hinata's words sent Naruto's addled brain for a loop. There was a warmth at Hinata's Yusabar that filled every corner of Naruto's mind. It's always nice to go home together, Naruto agreed. Now, it was Hinata's turn to embrace a warmth that filled her aspect of her being. She had always craved acceptance, even before her exile. Naruto's acceptance was so unconditional and earnest that it completely overshadowed any of the token gestures of acceptance her former clan had provided. Hinata was overcome by a sudden impulse, and in defiance of all her etiquette training, whirled to face Naruto. Her muscles ached at the sudden exertion, but she found she really didn't care. What did I say? Naruto asked. He was a bit nervous by Hinata's reaction, and there was a nagging sensation in the back of the boy's head. He was really worried he had said something wrong. Something very sweet, Hinata said airily. Naruto had no idea, but Hinata seemed to be as happy as Naruto had ever seen her. So, he decided to simply keep going on that track. There was something in Hinata's smile that struck Naruto. He felt an unexplainable, but fierce, determination to protect that smile. The 2 youths continued on in companionable silence. As they reached the apartment, Naruto stopped dead in his tracks. Hinata felt him come to a halt and turned to see Naruto take on a look of despair. It was something she didn't think was even remotely possible. What's wrong, Naruto-kun? Naruto looked at Hinata and his face was almost ashen with concern. We live on the 4th floor. Hinata's muscles felt like they were burning at the mere thought. We do have to get to our apartment. Lean on each other for support? Naruto suggested. Always, Hinata said with a weary smile. The 2 slowly, very slowly, made their way to their apartment. They could barely stand, but they drew strength from each other and made it to the bed. I think I'm going to take a break before I get ready for the night, Naruto yawned as he sat on the edge of the bed. Hinata flopped down and stretched out luxuriously. Did you ever think we could be worked that hard? Hinata said quietly. Naruto flicked his eyes towards Hinata and saw she had a contented smile on her face. Naruto smiled back, despite being as tired as he had ever been. Nope, but it will be worth it. Gai-sensei and Lee are really going to help us get strong. I can only imagine what it is going to be like, Hinata said warmly. We will definitely reach our dreams now. Naruto nodded as the fatigue he had been fighting for a while overcame him. Maybe if I just rest a bit, Naruto thought to himself. I never doubted you for a second, Naruto said verbally. Thank you, Naruto-kun, Hinata responded with a yawn. The 2 started to talk about anything that came to mind. Eventually, the conversation slowed as the 2 genin succumbed to their own fatigue. Ow, Naruto groaned as he felt how sore he was following the intense training Gai-sensei had put Team 9 through. He tried to stretch his legs, but his feet hit a wall. That, Naruto thought, was definitely odd. His bedroll was in the main room away from most of the walls. Naruto couldn't have moved that much in his sleep. Unexpectedly, he felt the pillow he was resting on move. What? Naruto asked himself and flicked his eyes around the room. Then, he noticed his ramen poster. How? Naruto's confused thoughts suddenly became nervous ones. He heard a soft sigh to his left. Quickly, he sat up and realized he was in his bed. Naruto hadn't slept in his bed since Hinata-chan moved in. Hinata sat up slowly and rubbed the sleep from her eyes with the heel of her palm. Naruto found himself watching Hinata quietly instead of bolting from the room like he should have. Somehow, I'm not sure should have is right, Naruto gulped. And Naruto-kun? Hinata asked, between yawns. Her eyes instantly shot open. Naruto-kun? Good morning? Naruto's greeting was less of a greeting and more of a question. Gee, good morning, Hinata replied somewhat hesitantly. We slept in the same bed. I'm a boy. Hinata-chan is a girl. That's only allowed if you're married. I remember hearing some of the adults talking about that once. They were really upset that Mariko and Yukio were sleeping in the same bed before they got married. Naruto thought in a whirlwind. Are you sore from yesterday? Naruto asked distractedly. A bit, Hinata answered shyly. She knew Naruto's question was innocent, but there was something almost awkward about it. Me too, Naruto added. I'll get breakfast started. Thank you, Naruto-kun, Hinata said genuinely. She watched Naruto slide off the bed and head into the kitchen. The young woman breathed a sigh of relief. Naruto-kun and I shared a bed. That's only supposed to happen when a couple is. Hyuga elders always talked about how that is highly improper and leads to accidents. I hope the accident doesn't involve the oven. It's on the verge of breaking and we can't afford a new one. I should talk with Ayamone-chan about this. Naruto finished making breakfast and called out to Hinata. Hinata joined Naruto at the table. They ate in, for likely the first time since they had met each other, an uncomfortable silence. I'm going to have to think of something so that I can talk to Iruka-sensei alone, Naruto thought quickly. I can convince Naruto that I have girl stuff to take care of so that I can talk with Ayamone-chan, Hinata thought just as quickly. Hey, Hinata-chan, I've, got to get some more Fuinjutsu supplies, Naruto said in an offhand manner that was anything but. He was distracted by where his thoughts were leading. You have to marry a girl if you sleep together, Naruto repeated silently. Marrying Hinata-chan wouldn't be bad at all, I guess, but only grown-ups get married. We're ninja, but not really grown-ups yet. Would you like me to come along? Hinata offered politely. I'm sure I can pick up some of the. Hinata paused for a heartbeat. Girl stuff I need. There is a store closer to the apartment, Naruto pointed out. I won't be gone long and it'll be more fun to hang out here when we both get back. That is a good idea, Naruto-kun, Hinata agreed. I would like to spend the day relaxing in the house. The store you are talking about is close to Ichiraku. I can slip away and talk with Ayamone-chan. Yeah, so we'll catch up later, Naruto said with a smile. His smile was genuine at the thought of spending time with Hinata after he got all this might have to get married stuff sorted. Hinata returned the smile. She was unaware of Naruto's thoughts, but also was looking forward to having a quiet afternoon with her best friend. They had not had a normal afternoon since before their graduation. Maybe those days were the old normal and our training with Gai-sensei will be the new normal. I would like that, Hinata said in response to Naruto's unsaid plans. I hope that nothing changes, Naruto-kun. I am happy as I have ever been. If that has to happen, how would things really change? The two finished their breakfast. Naruto stood up first and smiled at Hinata. Well, I'll catch up with you later. Have a good one, Hinata-chan. Thank you, Naruto-kun. I hope you get all the supplies you need. Hinata returned the smile. Naruto nodded and got his wallet, Gamachan, and his book bag. Hinata collected the small amount of money she had saved herself. The two exchanged one last smile and went their separate ways. Naruto and Hinata felt more awkward about not talking with each other about the way they had woken up than if they had talked about everything. I want to talk with Hinata-chan about this, Naruto thought to himself. But I have no clue what I want to say. The last thing I want to do is make her upset about anything. Naruto sighed as he thought about everything Hinata had been through. She was happy, and he swore he'd make sure she would stay that way. Naruto felt himself picking up the pace as he headed for Iruka's classroom. I have to time this to avoid Sakura and Ino. They may be my friends, but they'd spread all sorts of rumors. He looked to a nearby store window and noticed the time. I guess I should get my supplies and slip in during lunch. Naruto set off to another store with a smile on his face. He really needed both the time to think of how he was going to talk with Iruka-sensei and the supplies to continue practicing and producing his awesome seals. As Naruto entered the store, he wondered what Hinata-chan was up to. Hinata waited quietly until the last delivery man left before she approached Ichiraku. She felt strangely confident as she walked towards the humble restaurant. Hinata chalked up the surge in her resolve to the nature of her bond with Ayame and Teuchi. Ayame and Teuchi were like the family relationships Hinata had always dreamed of. Ayame was the patient big sister Hinata had prayed for after her mother's death. Hinata was grateful to have an older girl she could confide in. Hinata truly and graciously counted Ino and Sakura as her friends, but those two couldn't really help Hinata with her current situation. It doesn't help that this would only confirm their crazy theories. Hinata thought with a self-distracting giggle. Ayame was alerted to Hinata's approach by her quiet giggle. Good morning, Hinata-chan. Good morning, Ayame Oni-chan, Hinata replied with a warm smile. The younger girl noticed the ghost of a blush on the cook's cheeks. I was wondering if you had a minute to talk? Ayame noticed Hinata's tone and nodded gently. She opened the door to the restaurant and motioned for Hinata to come in. Hinata bowed graciously, and somehow all the comfort and confidence she had gathered was being replaced by a nervousness. Well, what a nice surprise, Teuchi said as he came down the stairs from the family apartment. How are you, Hinata? I am doing well, Teuchi-san, and you? Hinata asked politely. Teuchi smiled. He knew that Hinata had a far more pressing conversation with his daughter, but was pleasantly surprised by Hinata's impeccable manners. Eager to live another day, Teuchi answered with a content smile. Hinata returned the smile and believed she could physically feel Teuchi's quiet support. The ramen chef was more of a grandfather than Hinata's biological grandfather had ever even considered being. She was grateful for it. Father, I will need to speak with Hinata-chan in private. I will be down to help as soon as I can, Ayame told her father. Teuchi caught the message hidden in both his daughter's tone and body language and simply nodded. Hinata and Ayame went into the family's apartment and took a seat on the couch. So Hinata-chan, Ayame said after a moment. What do you need to talk about? I think I have to marry Naruto-kun, Hinata decided to ease into the conversation. Ayame gave Hinata a disbelieving, if good-natured, look. You two are very close, but I'm not sure you kiddos are ready for that leap yet. Well. Hinata blushed for a few reasons. 1. She remembered why she was speaking to Ayame in the first place. 2. Ayame's statement made Hinata realize just how close the former Hyuga was to Naruto. It was comforting to be so close, but also scary and exciting at the same time. Normally, boys and girls were nowhere near as close as Naruto and Hinata were. Then again, what about our situation is normal? Hinata thought. Oh boy, Ayame sighed. Start from the top, Hinata-chan. Ayame prepared herself to explain what a crush was to Hinata. She thought back to what Teuchi, and her mother before her death, had said when Ayame had gotten her first crush. Hinata chewed her lip for a moment. I slept with Naruto-kun last night. When I was still a Hyuga, the elders were adamant that any couple that slept together get married. It would be very improper if Naruto and I, well. Ayame was silent for several seconds. Hinata felt the older appraising her, judging her. She could feel memories of her father and his harsh judgments surfacing. Did you leave your clothes on? Ayame asked after a moment. Hinata blanched. Oh, of course. Then I'll have to hold off on working on the wedding menu for a few years, the older woman said with a smile. Hinata could swear she saw mirth dancing in the cook's eyes. But we slept in the same bed. Hinata protested. Ayame held up her finger and her smile ballooned. But you didn't sleep together. There's a difference between sleeping together and sleeping together that I'll explain later. So, what did Naruto-kun and I do last night? The young genin managed to squeak out. Like I said, you just fell asleep in the same bed. I am smiled. Oh, and Hinata. Yes, I am Oni-chan? Hinata asked nervously. She could feel the mischief rolling off the other woman. I noticed that you never said anything about being against marrying Naruto-kun, I am pointed out with faux innocence. All the color that had disappeared from Hinata's face early in the conversation came flooding back. She hadn't realized what she hadn't said. Hinata tried to explain herself. It didn't work well. Oh, don't worry, it's cute, I am continued her friendly teasing. Hinata almost gulped and quietly she hoped Naruto was having an easier day. Somehow, Hinata was convinced Naruto was going to have a similarly eventful experience. This was all for now. Thank you for watching, I hope you liked it and that you will be back for more. Please like, share and subscribe. See ya.